Coffee is something that has gotten a really bad rap from a lot of people, and lots of Ayurveds as well. And it's not that coffee itself is bad, it's that coffee has certain properties, just like all foods do. So when you're looking at coffee, you're looking at the bitter, astringent taste of coffee. It has an acidic quality in that way, and it depends on how it's roasted and how it's prepared. For example, an espresso will have a different taste and a different effect than maybe having a coffee that's been brewed, or an organic coffee that's harvested and has a different type of roasting process will have a different quality. So coffee is just another one of nature's foods, and it just depends that we're taking it in a way that suits our prakriti, our constitution. This is where it gets a little tricky. Many times we crave coffee because we're looking to keep ourselves further imbalanced. We're not looking to take coffee in a way that will help us with proper digestion. When we do that, it helps support our prakriti. So for example, at the end of a large meal in the middle of the day, if I crave something bitter, which will help me in my digestive process, like cooling bitters, I might crave a little espresso. If I have that in the middle of the day after a large meal, it's not an improper intake of coffee. But to wake up first thing in the morning because my pitta wants to get going right then and there, and I turn on the switch and make a little acid in the morning or coffee in that way, and I pour it right down, it's only going to inflame me further and cause more heat, which I wouldn't need if I had a lot of pitta in my prakriti. So sometimes when it comes to drinking things like coffee or taking foods like sweets, we're doing that to support keeping ourselves imbalanced. Our vikriti, our imbalance, is a louder voice in our head than our prakriti, our true nature. Coffee is often used as a digestive, and it's an excellent digestive post-meal in a moderate amount, like a demi-tasse, like an espresso, right? So when you think about having coffee, here are my top tips for you. What I would suggest you do first is know your prakriti, know your nature, know your dosha. If you happen to have a lot of kapha dominance, thumbs up to you. Coffee is going to help you. It's going to help with stimulation, and it's going to help with the bitter astringent taste to balance out some of the high kaphic tendencies. If you have vata and pitta as your dominant natures in your prakriti, then caution to you. Doesn't mean you can't have coffee, but you have to think about why you're having it and how you're having it. So what I would suggest you do is add some warm milk. Some steamed, spiced, warm milk is ideal to help counterbalance the astringent, bitter, and acidic quality of coffee. Again, in a moderate to small amount. And take it at the end of a meal. This way it'll help your digestive process naturally. And that's one of the reasons we use the bitter taste in Ayurvedic medicine. Think of the time of day, because we want to take our caffeine, our stimulant, probably during kapha time of day in the morning. We wouldn't take it at kapha time of day again in the evening, because then we're getting ready to go to sleep. But time of day in the morning is very useful to have after food or with food. If it feels like that you want to move away from coffee, if it feels like, first of all, you have a hard time taking it in those moderate amounts, or you want to have something first thing in the morning and you don't really want to wait to eat, it would be useful to perhaps explore some options. So taking tea with steamed milk is excellent. We actually have a recipe for that here at the Institute we call chai. Chai is a wonderful substitute for coffee in the morning. It's actually a complete meal in Ayurveda because it has 5 of the 6 tastes. So that might be a wonderful way to get something in the morning, if you're not really a breakfast eater, that will be in your system, that will be nutritive, which is the milk, as well as something to help you with stimulation, which is the caffeine in the tea. So that would be one alternative. Again, not too much, just enough, moderate sized. Another alternative would be to work with some of the other teas that we have, like green tea, for example. Sometimes people just want something hot in the morning, or they're looking to have something warm in nature, and so having a tea product is also very nice to have. There are different types of coffee substitutes that are also available on the market. That might be something that would be of interest to you. The important thing is to really understand why you're taking the coffee, what the benefit is, and what it is perhaps that's keeping you more in an imbalanced state. And once you come to an understanding of that, then the options will seem much more palatable to you. So those are the tips. Good luck to you.